All right, we're getting about to get a thunderstorm, but I wanted to show you this grass is coming in these spots. Let me see it. Now, one thing about the mulch is you kind of have to come in here and pluck some of the mulch out. These bigger pieces, they'll prevent your grass blades from coming up. So once you get to about this stage, you can come in here and start plucking some of this mulch out. Just in the spots where you see the grass. The grass will kind of push up the mulch. Come through and just pick it up. There's another spot that's still kind of filling in, but you can see the seedlings in this one too. So that's enough about growing grass. Let's go ahead and show you how to kill some plants, the undesirables, the weeds. Let's talk weed killers. First, we're going to focus on these three things. Obviously, we talked about Tenacity in the prior video. You can buy the brand name Tenacity, or Torocity is the off-brand name. That's going to be applied once a month, and I usually will mix all three of these. In fact, I have mixed all 5 of these products into my pump sprayer all at once. So that's kind of my bomb to kill weeds, if you will. This product here is called Spectracide Weed Stop, and I like it. It's reasonably priced. Now, the main ingredients on it are 2,4-D and quinclorac. Quinclorac takes care of the little pieces of grass that come up. It's called yellow nutsedge. You might hear it referred to as water grass, but it grows up really fast in the springtime when we get a lot of rain. That's why they kind of call it water grass. I'll show some pictures of that when we start getting that. You're not going to be worried about that right now, at least this time of year and in our climate. Probably in another 3 weeks to a month or so, that stuff might kick off real good as soon as it heats up. That's a really robust root. You never want to pluck nutsedge. So we'll get into nutsedge a little more when it starts popping up. This one is going to kill, you see it says 470 weeds. 2,4-D really kills almost everything for the most part. We get into some specialty weeds. That's what we're going to get into with the products over here. So this is going to take care of most of your broadleaf weeds, dandelions, any broad leaves. When I say broad leaves, the leaves that kind of look like that, they have a really wide leaf structure. Anything like that, it's going to knock most of those weeds out. The secret to really getting good coverage is this right here. This is called surfactant, and a non-ionic surfactant. As you see, it says improves wetting and spreading, and then it also contains a defoamer. The surfactant is just a fancy name for a soap. You can actually use like Johnson's Baby Soap, Dawn, dish soap, the liquid. You can actually put about 1 ounce of that. What I usually mix is 1 ounce of this per gallon of mixed quantity. So if my pump sprayer is 2 gallons, I'll put in 1 ounce of this per gallon. So I'll put in 2 ounces in my pump sprayer. What this really does is it acts as like the napalm. It's going to make this product, or whatever you combine it with, the Tenacity as well, or any of these 2 products too, or anything you mix it with, really stick and wet out to the leaf structure. If you've ever looked at leaves after a rain or after you run the water, you'll see little droplets of rain all over the structure of the leaves, and I'll probably go outside and show you what that looks like. What this does is it breaks that, and it allows it to lay up like a clear coat on a car. And what that gives you is more surface area coverage, so you get more control with whatever weed killer you applied. So this really, without this, you're going to get maybe 40 to 50% effectivity as far as like coverage. You add this and it is, like I said, it's the napalm. So it really energizes it a lot. So anytime you're trying to kill active growing weeds, I always use surfactant. So that's kind of the secret. And that's what most most of the professionals are going to use. They'll tell you too. You're wasting your time and your money. Let's say this is $20. I could get my $10 worth, or I could get my $20 worth. I don't know about you. I'd rather get my $20 worth. Now we move over to some more specialized, more difficult to kill weeds. As I said in prior videos, Bermuda grass in a cool season area, cool season versus warm season. Warm season is it stays warm or hot all winter. You never really get any freezing temperatures. Cool season, you get freezing temperatures, and then you also get very warm or hot temperatures as well. So up north or in the Midwest, Bermuda is a weed. It dies off in the summer, or in the winter rather, and then has to regrow in the spring, and it's usually late spring that it starts coming back in. So it's not really a great grass for us up here. As you see, it's safe for Kentucky bluegrass, ryegrass, and fescue grass. Don't use it on Bermuda grass, obviously, or St. Augustine, centipede, zoysia grass. So those down here would be all warm season grasses. So Bermuda's pretty tough to control. The other product that I have, obviously, Tenacity, it has very good Bermuda control. So if you're trying to attack Bermuda, the combo of those two plus some surfactant is a phenomenal 1-2 punch. The other weeds that are particularly difficult to kill, so obviously the weed stop will not control Bermuda. The other weeds that are more difficult to control are chickweed, clover, and oxtails. So that's kind of what they look like. You can look up pictures of the weeds. In fact, there's apps to allow you to identify different types of weeds. But creeping Charlie is another one, and wild violet. Anything that has a really robust root structure that's more of like a clover family type of plant, they're very difficult to control, and you really need a good ingredient for that. So the ingredient for this is trichlorophyll. I may be butchering these. I've never been good at naming these technical names. So anyway, those are really the products that I mix up and use, and I've kind of gotten away from using the Bermuda grass. I'll actually take this Bermuda grass, and it comes in a hose-in sprayer, but you get more control when you mix it up with the surfactant. So I end up taking this and putting it in my pump sprayer with the surfactant. So I really rarely use the hose-in sprayer. It's really a lazy man's way of doing it. You don't get as much control. As I said before, you're wasting your money by trying to do that and not adding a surfactant. It is really, I'm not kidding, it is the napalm. So those are really the products that I use. I'm probably going to replace Spectracide this year once I have a few bottles left, and I'll probably go ahead and get 2,4-D and quinclorac on its own. I might go ahead and try trichlorophyll on its own as well. And then, like I said, I don't typically use this all that much anymore. Maybe if I had a really bad infestation of Bermuda, I've killed most of my Bermuda off with this. So this stuff will really bleach the Bermuda and hinder it really bad during its peak growing season, and then year after year it just comes back less and less. So one of the other things you're probably noticing is none of this stuff says Scott's. Scott's is some of the most over-marketed stuff on the market, period. It's diluted. The quantity of the active ingredients is significantly less, so that you have to continue to buy more. Now, I'm not saying that you can't get a nice lawn with Scott's products. You can. It's going to take 3 or 4 years. I want a nice lawn in, I don't know, 6 months, a year, this season, very quickly. So I try to use products that are going to deliver a good result faster. That way I spend less time trying to maintain it and less money. I think this surfactant I've had for 3 or 4 years at least. It's like maybe 10, 12 bottle or $12 at a farm and home store, maybe even less than that. This isn't even half gone. This stuff I think is like maybe 15 bucks at Lowe's. Now, if I bought the active ingredient, it'd be even cheaper. The Bermuda grass stuff is a little pricey. I think it's around $30 to $40. This stuff's pretty pricey as well for its size. I can't remember what that is, maybe $15, $20. But Tenacity, best bang for buck. I think this was $30 to $40, whether you buy the name brand Tenacity or Toracity. So, and this has lasted me four seasons or more. I mean, this little teeny bottle, you're like, Matt, 4 seasons? Yeah, because you use a teeny tiny bit. But I'm not buying 50-pound bags of granular that is sitting on the leaves and getting very, very little coverage and very, very little adhesion to the plant and just getting wasted and sitting down in the soil. This stuff is going directly to the plant. So effectively, I'm using less chemicals on my lawn than somebody that's using granular control. So I don't do really any granular control. I won't say any. Prodiamine or Diplofor if I'm not using Tenacity. That I typically prefer in a granular because it's just slow release, right? And then obviously the slow release fertilizer is another one that I like in a slow release granular. Anything else? I really stay away from the granular weed control. Back to the whole water break thing we were talking about earlier. The way the water was beating up on the surface. That right there tells you everything. If you have a bunch of little tiny granulars all over that leaf structure, how much of it is really coming into contact with the plant? Almost nothing. So personally, I don't have like a personal vendetta for Scott's. It's just, the truth is, it is the most over-marketed product on the face of the earth. If they put more money into giving you a higher quality product, they wouldn't have to market it as much as they do, because it doesn't work as well as just these simple products here. And like I said, I could go and buy the off-brand version like I did for the Roundup or the Ground Kill or Ground Clear. You can tell I've never bought the name brand. So stay away from the name brands. Stay out of the big box stores. I think these are really the only two I buy. I might buy that at the box store, I think, but I don't buy this too often anymore. I've got the clover all under control. But these two for sure, stay out of the box store and stay away from the granular Scott's aisle. Please stop wasting your money and time. So as I was going through editing, I realized I didn't talk about a couple different things. So the non-ionic on the surfactant means it has the defoamer. So when you put it into your pump sprayer and you shake it all up to mix it all up, that defoamer is going to keep it from foaming up, which is, if you have a little bit of time, you can wait for the foam to go down. But it helps a lot with that. So as you see, it says that helps suppress spray tank foaming. Tenacity, we also didn't talk about. It does control some weeds post-emergence. Post-emergence means after the weed's already growing. Pre-emergence is when it's in the soil and it hasn't started, or right as it's starting to emerge from the seed. So a seedling stage. That's when it will kill plants too. But primarily it's used as a pre-emergent. Post-emergence, it does have great post-emergent control of one of the most difficult weeds to control, and that is crabgrass. Crabgrass is a nasty plant because it likes to spread out and overtake your yard and try and crowd out your desirable grass, your turf. So that's one that people struggle with a lot. When you hear weed and feed, that's what most people are trying to prevent, is crabgrass. Preventing it is your best method. Killing it, this stuff, I have killed crabgrass up to like the 3rd or 4th stalk. So, I mean, 6-8 inches. When you combine it with surfactant, you can take that stuff out when it's very tall. So you don't want that stuff to continue to grow. It will put down, like each plant will put down somewhere around 1,000 seeds or something. and their seeds can remain dormant for years. So you really don't want that crap on your lawn. So Tenacity with the surfactant, you can lay siege to the crabgrass. I don't think I have any crabgrass to show you. Well, right now you're not going to have any anyway. Crabgrass really starts kicking off when we get up to the temperatures in the 90-degree range. So we're nowhere near there just quite yet. But anyway, I wanted to cover those few things that I didn't cover. All right, so we just had a little rain, and if you get down and really look close at the blades, you can see individual droplets of water. So you're really getting super close to this kind of stuff to see that. But you can see all the individual droplets. Now, if this had a soap or a surfactant on it, it would just look like a shiny leaf blade. And that means it gets complete 100% coverage. This is not 100% coverage because there's a wax layer on the plant that actually protects the plant. So you want to break that wax layer with the surfactant. And that is what the secret is to getting more control. I'll take you outside and look at a car. This car, I need to wax. It's raining right now. Doesn't really look like it because there's no wax or very little left on this car. And you can see the water droplets on the window, but you can't see the individual water droplets on the car. And that is because the wax layer is broken. That's effectively what the surfactant is doing. It's breaking it so that you get 100% coverage, surface coverage of all the area of the chemical. If you were to have this applied, you're not getting all the chemical. It's spread out. So it's missing areas. So you get less effect. Thanks for watching. I've got more content to come.